Welcome
up,
back.
everybody? Welcome back to Throwing Ropes, sponsored by Walberry Theater. This is episode 10, week 10 of the Union Peer Beer League. As usual, we are going to do the fastest 2 minutes, hopefully faster than last week's. Then we're going to move into our start sit cuts. And we got 2 first-time guests on the show today, as well as 1 returning guest. But yeah, I guess we'll just get right into it.
All
Hello,
right.
My name is Jeffrey.
Welcome to the show, Elliot and Jeffrey, by the way.
And I'm back. Lasso right bang. I'm back into the ropes, baby.
Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.
Oh, I love the enthusiasm. All right, boys, let's get it started. 3, 2, 1. Let's break into the fastest 2 minutes. Whoop! 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 Ooh. Whoop! Well, it looks like someone forgot their bong in the blue tent on the gridiron yesterday. Funnily enough, it's got a name tag on it. Well, let's just see whose it is. What? Jamaican shamans?
Jamaican shamans?
Well, that explains what Chief Keef Darrell Williams was doing in here the other day, and why it still smells like the 70s. Meanwhile, the Herzlocker was getting busted by the K-49ers unit with a big old bag of marijuana. Ooh, do we need a test sample? Can we test a sample? Well, let me just make sure this is... Now I suddenly want donuts, and I don't know why. Whoa! Whoa! Meanwhile, back on the gridiron, 2 hills have just erupted out of nowhere from the midfield. Are you guys seeing this? 2 hills rising out of the ground. Oh, wait. It's just Tyreek and Ryan Tannehill asking about my donuts. Yeah, you can have some. But wait! There's a cook in a chef's hat, dressed in kingly purple robes, standing on the taller of the hills, spinning a ladle inside of a giant cauldron. Definitely nothing to do with that sample I tried. Fuck this, I'm getting out of here. Gridiron shatters the shaman's bong. 137 to 98. Crash! Whoop! Whoop! Whoop!
Wow. I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that up, but I will get after it. This week, we saw Cowboy Space 36 Shucker Core narrowly beat Exit 6 Machines 110.06 to 102.24. That is a difference of 7.82 points for those who struggle with mental math. That is me. The Space Cowboys had 2 big boy performances this week. Ezekiel Elliott and Trevon Diggs' big brother snapped and accounted for 41% of the Space Cowboys' points. Strong special team play saw Tommy get 26 points from his kicker and defense. Interesting enough, the Space Cowboys started 4 running backs this week. Take a look, 4 running backs. Zeke feasted, but Henderson, Patterson, and Jacobs went home hungry. TB12 with a flaccid 13 points, but overall, the Cowboys, led by Diggs and Zeke, pick up a big win. The Space Cowboys improved to 6-4, while the newly appointed father went home crying to his baby mama. The Exit 6 Machines dropped to 6-4, but are still eyeing a playoff spot. Patrick Mahomes, with a cheat code performance, 5 TDs, 406 yards for 36.24 points, which was 35% of Jack's points scored. After that, the UP Machines had respectful totals from Kelsey Kittle, Deontay Johnson, and Zach Moss. Respectful performances don't win you games, especially when you have Goose Egg Gesicki, who made Jack Gesicki with 0 catches on 7. The Machines trotted out league favorite Kenyon Drake. Some points were left on the bench, with Renfrow and Bolden putting up solid points. Watch out, though. Exit 6 Machines is getting Chris Carson back, Jamar Chase back from bye week, and yes, Superman himself, Cam Newton, is starting next week. Close matchup, but the Cowboys win it. Best of luck to you both, boys. Are we supposed to make gorilla noises?
Right. I guess I'm up, right?
I know these guys are hard to follow.
Stallions?
No, I told you the order at the beginning. You kind of just go after the
Well,
person in front of you.
The Stallions?
Team Danky Punch must have forgotten his wallet at the strip club, because once again he was trying to smash his old Josh Allen wrench into that chest of his opponent, big old TDs, and steal their fab. After his initial attempt failed, Danky fled the scene with a special needs stripper from Indianapolis. After fleeing the scene, and only a few blocks later, that stripper from Indianapolis was seen exiting the vehicle. Apparently, Danky Punch must have been pretty swift, if you know what I mean. Premature to that ejaculation, big old TDs must have been hurting for a squirtin' from the blind side, because they definitely decided to play Trevor Simeon. And wouldn't you know it, Simeon came through in the clutch, unloading upon the competition. Then it was slam dunk Dernis Johnson Johnson's turn to look to score, setting his sights on a massive gap before performing the end around reach around to the tune of a touchdown. But it was the red nose of Mason Rudolph that would penetrate the hole, fighting for every inch, just below big old TD's navel, and it was enough to get the TDs out for a massive win over Danky Punch, 115-88.
Whoop!
Whoa! Whoa!
Whoop! Whoop!
We started Rudolph and Simeon. Wow.
That was a mouthful.
Whoop! Whoop! You're saying
Round
that. That's
under.
Elliot saying that. Whoop! Big old titties?
The Poon
never-
Goons sung a few tunes at noon on Sunday. The Goons called up Dr. Seuss and were able to reduce the Bruce abuse. Bruce must be feeling a little obtuse after Russell Gage produced a goose. One fish, two fish, Carson Wentz blue dick. Even with Christian McCann back on roster, Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp, a.k.a. Thing 1 and Thing 2, were able to squeeze out a win for Uncle Jay. Goon Squad, 93.9. Bruce, 76.3.
Cooper Coop!
Whoop! Whoop! Space Colony must have been getting some fantasy advice from Christopher Nolan this week, because his weekend premiered with the superhero franchise, The Dark Knight Rises. The second showing was a delightful little picture that goes well with football, fava beans, and a nice Chianti. Silenced by the Lamb. The final film of Space Colony's 21's Night was a thriller about a deadly Derek Carr named Christine. Honk honk, murder! Meanwhile, the Scoregasms must have missed the start time for the matinee. Deep O impact, but they did manage to start the second flick, Jefferson in Paris, just before ducking over into another theater to check out Joe Kirk Dirt 3, Kissing Cousins. Scoregasm's final feature of the evening was The Godwins Must Be Crazy. No Pepsi, all Coke bottle. Unfortunately for Team Scoregasms, no one can hear you moan in space. Space Colony 21 orgasms, 127 points. Multiple Scoregasms, none, and exactly 88 points.
Blue balls the scoregasm!
Boo! Boo!
A slow-moving traveler encountered a socially awkward publicity stunt in a gay bar during this week's battle for the bottom. People say nothing is impossible, but Tyler Lockett does nothing every week. The strong hoofers were saved by a flamboyant kicker with minutes left on Monday Night Football. It's one small step for Jeff, one giant leap for the Moonwalkers, typically moving backwards, making Neil Armstrong smile wider than an empty two-car garage with a door open. Social propaganda, 79.5. Power Walkers, 79.7.
So, 10th
That
place.
is-
10th place. 10th place. That's not 12.
That's the closest match I have ever seen in any fantasy football
That
game.
is the fastest 2 minutes, everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, we ended with a crazy matchup. It's actually, let me try to do some math here. It's actually a 1.8 difference in your scores. James lost by 1.8. That sucks. That's so unlucky after being this whole season. The Power Walkers, though, you know, not only did you not lose and go to last place, you moved up too. Danny's now fighting for the bottom.
I'm past Danny. I would never have guessed that I had more points than him, and I mean that honestly. I would never have guessed.
Congratulations there, Jeffrey.
I think that's the only matchup that is worth and that was about more than the fastest 2 minutes because it was so wild.
How many? What we got?
You
4
said
weeks
point
left, right?
1-8,
4 weeks
right?
left.
We have 4 weeks left to the playoffs. Yeah, or I guess 3. Doesn't playoffs start week 14?
This is week 11, so week
Yeah,
11, week 12,
So we
week
have
13,
11,
week
12, and
14.
13.
There are 4
Yeah.
games left,
Tom,
including
I know
this
you
weekend.
got your script, but can you just pull up the standings real quick?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we're done with the script. We're just going. We can bounce around.
Now let's get right
anybody's
into the
talking.
starts and sits of the week because
Let me just take a look. Let me just take a look.
All right.
We can take a look. We can take
Wow,
a
the
look.
Shamans are out as it stands.
That's
All
what
the
they're
Shamans are in
Wow.
seventh place.
Yeah, they're out. They're out, but that could be a quick turnaround.
What do you mean?
I
The Shamans are in 7th place.
Yeah,
Top 7 make them.
and they got they've
top 7.
and he's got 77 more points than Jack, who if he goes up in record, if they tie, all he has to do is tie Jack, and he's gonna get in that 6th spot.
Right now,
Yeah.
Power Walkers are out. Danky Punch is out. Social Propaganda is out. But you know who has a chance is Multiple Scoring and Gridiron. Those are the 2 bottom of the barrels right now, scrabbling for that 7th place finish. And we got one of them on the podcast. Elliot, how's it feel?
Oh, I hate my team, but it's fine. It's fine. They'll be fine.
You have
Who's
more
been,
wins than us.
Who's been hurting you lately, Elliot?
All of them. I mean,
Nick Chubb's out. That sucks.
The train.
well,
Elliot,
he was in
you
a
really
COVID
gotta-
situation. He'll be back soon.
Elliot, you gotta give the explanation. What happened to your quarterback? Why couldn't you substitute him out?
So, funny story about that. I had 2 players in the COVID situation. So they were on my bench, and I had recently picked up a new running back that I was kind of excited about. And then when I saw Kyler Murray was, he was going to be a game time decision, my intention was to replace him, but I could not do that until the out was, official. And so I put the phone down and I set an alarm to come back to it. And the second he was listed as out, I got in there and I was ready to swap him out with another quarterback. Well, guess what? I forgot my people already on the bench, already in the IR slots. Their games had already started. So they were stuck there. I couldn't move them. And
Oh, that's
also-
brutal.
I obviously
Yeah.
immediately realized my mistake. But
Yep.
before
That's
before I'd even realized it, I was already making changes. to
He
the
locked
bench,
his
and
kicker
so I-
in. He locked his
Yeah.
kicker into the IR spot.
Oh
yeah,
my god.
But I also
Why did you IR a kicker?
You infrared a kicker. I
because
couldn't
was
believe
picking-
it.
Hold on. I IR'd the kicker because I was picking up that running back. Well, guess what? I ended up dropping that running back while making all these moves, only to realize I lost the running back and I couldn't fill the slots. So then I had an empty slot on my bench for the remainder of the night.
So you just got boned.
And
There's
now I lost that running back that I was trying to get. So I have to hopefully get him back next week.
There's a decent salad of things wrong going on with your team. You got 3 tight ends. You got 3 bye weeks. You lost Nick Chubb, the quad father.
Hey,
Your kicker's
he'll
out.
be back. All right. Here's the thing. Chubb is vaccinated, so his COVID protocol should be over by this Sunday.
Well, speaking of
Well,
that,
that's
who's
good.
your start of the week?
My start of the week is Nick Chubb because he's gonna reel it home for me.
So
You know what's funny?
wow.
We were at
Very
dinner.
disappointed on him being out because
We
the previous week he put up some great stats for me.
We were at dinner.
29 points in week 9.
But it was funny, Elliot. We were at dinner, and James and I are usually the ones obsessing about fantasy football, and then here's Austin on
He
his
could not
phone.
put his phone down.
He was so pissed that you left Kyler Murray in. I'm like, hey.
I felt cheated out of like a legit game. Like my Dak Lamb my freaking Dak Lamb combo. Like, holy crap! It says full power. Let's see what Elliot has to respond. You gave me Dick.
I love how Tommy's looking up gag gifts. Tommy, what are you Googling up there? What are the Galapagos Islands?
Yeah, Galapagos.
Yep.
I
All right,
mean-
let's roll. Where are we going?
Speaking
Start
of
sits?
big food, speaking
Austin,
of
I gotta say something on that. Hold on, guys.
Speaking
I
of
gotta say-
gagging,
Can I get one thing out real
yeah,
quick?
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, yes, I left Kyler in, but had I made the moves in the appropriate amount of time, I had already made up my mind I was going to play Colt McCoy. And he scored a whopping 0.1 this week. So even if I hadn't fucked all this up, I would have played the wrong quarterback anyway.
Oh, brutal.
It would not have made a difference.
Speaking of
0.1.
misfires, Austin, speaking of misfires. Yeah, Austin. Austin, who's your start of the week?
My starter is going to be C. Davis. Now that he's back at full strength and he's going against a weaker team, he is going to kick some solid ass. He's going to take that foot, shove it up someone's ass. He's going to pop out of the frame. Bam! He's kicking in a good groove. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I wonder who the quarterback's going to be.
God forbids if it's a good one.
Your Might be
game
Zach
is
Wilson.
only as good as your quarterback.
C. Davis.
Speaking
Okay.
of foots up your butt, Tommy, who's your start of the week?
My foot is, well, yeah, you're right. I'll move on. My start of the week is Jim Harbaugh. His pants caught on fire from a space heater on the sideline, and he continued to coach the whole game with burnt pants.
That's a coach.
That's
Is
a
that
coach.
true?
Like, yeah, was he gonna just stop and change his pants? That's
Love
pretty
it.
badass.
Wow.
Wow, I didn't hear about that.
Starting
That's
him
wild.
next week.
Speaking of flaming fireballs, James, who's your start of the week? My start of the week is Deonta Foreman of the who? Deonta Foreman?
Deontay Foreman.
Deonta Foreman of the Tennessee Titans. Well, guess what, everybody? That Tennessee Titans backfield, surprise, it's not Adrian Peterson. It's not Jerry McNichols. It's Deonta Foreman, who's arose out of nowhere to take over the touches that have been vacated by Derrick Henry.
How do you spell Deonta, James?
D apostrophe a capital O-N-T-A.
A lot of apostrophes going on right now.
Mm-hmm. Deonta.
Speaking of the NTA, who's left? James or Jeff?
I think it's me. I am
Jeffrey.
going to go, and I'm worried. I'm worried because it's a Thursday night game. But I'm going to roll with Mac Jones. Mac Jones playing at Atlanta. We all know Atlanta's horrible with their defense. He put up 19 points last week. It seems like Mac Jones is the consensus best rookie QB right now. People are scared of the Pats. I'm going to go with Mac Jones.
Wow, I like it. And yeah, he has been good. Surprisingly good. I don't know if he's going to be the best of the quarterbacks as at the end of this, but right now he's looking really, really good. I think he's in the best coaching situation, and that is probably the most critical factor there.
For sure.
Mac and
Beanie
cheese.
check.
Mac and cheese. Speaking of cutting cheese,
Speaking of cutting the cheese, Elliot, who's your sit of the week?
who's your? Oh yeah, sit. Sorry.
I like it, Tommy.
Sit of the week. Sit of the week might be Waller, believe it or not.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
What's been going on with him?
I mean, he's one of the older guys, and he just let me down so much last week. And honestly, his boom potential for this week, he's got a tough matchup at the Bengals. I think his boom potential does not outweigh the bust, and so
Vegas is having problems too, I think.
He's been busting a lot more than he's been hitting. I think that he had the one good week, and every week since then, it's been like, between him and Hawkinson, I mean, they're both sometimes throwing up duds.
Yeah.
Oh,
Vegas is a dumpster fire.
he had an abysmal week. So
Damn.
it's been a crapshoot with him, especially lately. I mean, basically week one was the last time.
Yeah, he put up 21. Yeah, he's only got three double-digit games.
Value, and I should have just traded him away in week 2 or 3, but I
At high value, yeah.
didn't have the foresight.
You probably could have traded him away at high value
the
still in
foreskin.
week 3 because, everybody's
Never
still
that.
riding the high of week 1, and they're like,
Oh,
yeah.
I know. I was there.
Wow, speaking of
19 targets. Yeah.
speaking of shit shows, Austin, who's your sit of the week?
My sit of the week is M. Gaskin, Miles Gas
Whoa.
of Kin. To be fairly honest, I think he is my definition of mediocrity at its finest and at its worst. It's one of those pickle in the jar, pickle out of the jar scenarios where he's either really freaking good or really freaking bad. I've been watching Danny's team for a while now, and Miles Gaskin has almost a perfect record of back and forth and back and forth. But I think he's going to shatter this time and do crap again in the following week or this week in general. He is not a good gasket. He's not a good seal. He could probably fill in a leak or two, but there is going to be some seepage coming from that asshole.
Wow.
Oof.
Wow,
Wow.
Austin, I
Oof.
like that.
I like that.
Speaking of anal seepage, Tommy, who's your sit of the week?
My sit of the week is Dan Campbell, another coach. I know I got two coaches
Loving
on here
it.
this week,
No, I'm
but
liking it.
Dan Campbell went 0-16 as he's the coach of the Detroit Lions. For everybody that doesn't know, he went 0-16 as a player, and he potentially can go 0-16-1 as a coach because the Lions, they won technically 16-16, but they did not lose, and you can't win until you learn how not to lose. So they got their tie. They won't be the first team in history to go 0-17. So that'll be good. But I'm sitting Dan Campbell because that sucks.
the
0-16, 0-16 as a player, and he could potentially go
Yeah.
0-16-1 as a coach.
I really hope you're cutting Matt Nagy with your next pick.
No, my next one is not. That would be great, but I did that a few weeks ago.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Matt Nagy can't repeat. I also did the entire Blackhawks team. I'm cut, but I got a good cut. I think that you guys will think is funny.
Speaking of, well, that's an amazing cut. I don't have anything for this. Anybody?
I do.
Speaking
I
of-
do-
no,
I do
speaking
have
this
of
is a
sit.
sit.
No,
This is a sit.
Yeah,
Speaking of sitting in my face.
Speaking of sitting on my
Jeff.
face, I'm going to sit Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan came off a win this week, but this guy is not starting Trey Lance. There's questions about him in San Francisco. The San Francisco fans are up in arms, asking questions about Kyle Shanahan. This week he's going against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which you got to think he's got to be able to beat them. But if they don't, the questions will start to rise about Kyle Shanahan. I kind of think Kyle Shanahan's going to win this week, but going
They
against the
just beat
Vikings,
Rams. What are you talking about? He just beat the Rams.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. What if they go beat the Rams and then they lose to the Jaguars? What do you do
I
with
would
Kyle
take-
Shanahan at that
I would
point?
take Kyle Shanahan in a heartbeat.
That's
In a
actually what I want. I want to lead this to
I would-
Kyle Shanahan getting fired from 49ers and becoming the Bears head coach.
I guess
Give
you
me
gotta
Kyle
give.
Shanahan.
you
Well,
gotta
anyways,
give,
my
gotta give-
sit.
Speaking of not living out prayer, Jeffrey, who's your sit of the week?
So my sit is a guy I cut, and of course, right after I cut him, he rattles off 2 20-point games in a row. Devonta Smith, like I said, back-to-back 20-point games. I'm just telling you, I don't think this guy's going to put up another 20-point game all year. Jalen Hurts is a running quarterback, fantasy quarterback, not a real quarterback. Hard to sustain a wide receiver, those wide receiver numbers, WR numbers, when you have a guy like Jalen Hurts throwing the football. So my sit this week is Devonta Smith.
Oh, I like it.
It's a good one, man.
He's been questionable all year, and yeah, he flashed the last 2 weeks. And in fact, Jalen Hurts seems like he figured it out, or at least is starting to maybe figure it out. Here's the thing about Jalen Hurts. This is still kind of his rookie year. He only played like 7 or 8 games last year. So that's the book's yet to be written on him.
No, dude, good fantasy quarterback. I don't want Jalen Hurts though on my team though.
That's what Zeke said on a past podcast. So we'll see.
Hey,
if that
before
remains
we
true.
move into cuts, I just did want to say one thing about your sit. When you guys were James, sorry, when you guys were discussing that, there was a weird stat I had written down that that was the first, because Jeff, you brought up them beating the Rams. That was their first win at home in over a year.
Yeah.
What?
In over a year, the 49ers have not won a home
They have been
game. That was
struggling
their
at
first one
home.
in over a year.
That seems weird to me. Because
Yeah, that's why it was a fluke. You brought up they just beat the Rams, but it's like they probably shouldn't have. They kind of got lucky there.
Yeah.
That's
So it's
wild to
questionable,
me.
and they'll truly be revealed going against Jacksonville, who is, tends to be a bottom feeder, you think. And speaking of bottom feeders, Elliot, who's your cut of the week?
Perfect.
that
That was-
could mean
that was-
anything.
That was great, James.
No, that was good. Sorry, I had some trouble with the mute button there. I hands down cut of the week was those fucking Washington Redskins. Excuse me, football team.
Fun. Oh, the football
they have
team.
they were such a top-ranked defense at the beginning of the season, and let me tell you, they've been absolute fucking garbage.
I'm
And
gonna
so
look at them.
I finally just parted ways, and I am looking to greener pastures with.
They're available.
That's a great cut because yeah,
is a
you're
great
right.
cut.
Look at that, dude. I'm going with the Ravens defense this week. They're playing the Bears. I love those Bears, but goddamn, they're gonna get their asses kicked.
I think so too. I think Lamar's gonna snap.
When do you think it's going to be
Look
up
at
for
the-
Matt
just-
Nagy?
Yeah, pull up the defense. Washington football
You
team.
want- you want-
How many
I
more
just
games
did.
for Matt Nagy? What's the over/under? He makes it to the end of the season.
Oh, he'll make it to the end of the season for sure.
Yeah, the McCaskies don't know what they're doing.
Speaking of don't know what you're doing, Austin, who's your cut of the week?
Russell, the no hustle. He has no gauge. Russell is rusting. Russell is struggle. Russell Gage has cinder blocks for hands. I have never seen a guy like this catch a ball to save his life.
Wow.
Kid's
What
got dick
happened in that
fingers.
game? His fingers are made of plastic.
Dicks. His fingers are dicks.
Dick fingers. He's dick fingers. He's dick fingers McGee. He can't catch anything. Russell Gage needs to go. I don't like him. That's how it is.
It's kind of
He goes-
surprising that he couldn't arise out of the gap that's been left by Ridley.
What do you expect from him?
I mean, what do you expect when you got?
What do
dick
you
fingers?
got? Yeah.
Well, speaking
I
of dick
want-
fingers, Tommy, who's your cut of the week?
My cut of the week is
Pat Schultz.
Josh Rosen, Pat Schultz.
That's a name?
Yeah, if you guys let me show you really quick what I mean. Can you guys see him? Can
Yes.
you guys see him?
Oh,
you can see
wow. It looks just like him.
It's Pat Schultz. So I'm cutting Pat Schultz because they took out Matt Ryan
Pat,
for
you're cut.
they took out Matt Ryan for putting up Josh Rosen type numbers, and then they put Josh Rosen in, and he throws a pick in his first fucking play, and I thought that was hilarious. So I'm cutting Pat Schultz for good.
How can you replace Meg Ryan?
Matt Ryan, he did terrible, and he put up Josh Rosen numbers, and then they threw in Josh Rosen, and he threw a pick the first play.
Jeez, yeah, and Matt Ryan really struggling. But and speaking of needs to retire, James, who's your cut of the week? My cut of the week is Adrian Peterson. He ain't the guy, boys and girls. We saw it. 2 weeks, got 2 weeks of evidence. The first week, they tried to give it to The Rock to him. This last week, they got The Rock about 8 times, but guess who did get The Rock? My start of the week, this next coming week, Deonta
Yep.
Foreskin. So go with him, cut
Red
the hubris, and move on from AP. You know who else got moved on from this
Adrian,
week?
AP's time to retire.
Yeah, and Le'Veon Bell just got cut this week, and it might be AP's time too.
Speaking of people to move on from, Jeff, who is your cut?
I am going T.Y. Hilton. I think Jonathan
Garbage.
Taylor and Michael Pittman are the guys in Indy. T.Y. Hilton had a great career, wasn't a WR1, but he's just not WR1 anymore. T.Y. Hilton cut.
Ooh,
Wow.
He threw up 1 point.
I actually thought about suggesting him for somebody's cut of the week. I'm glad you pulled him.
Jeff, just like your grass,
Cut.
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 I don't have grass in my backyard.
Hey, guys,
Just like
so
Jeff's
you-
grass couldn't cut it soon enough.
Hey, I haven't seen you guys in a while because I was out of town, but just like my hair, cut.
Oh.
How
The
was
locks, the locks of love are gone.
Didn't you
Nice.
get an interview in Tennessee?
No. Oh, yes, I did. Derrick Henry. He was.
Did you?
Derrick
Did
Henry
you make-
busboy?
Yeah,
Did
but
you-
unfortunately, the drugs he was taking for his foot, he passed out. So the interview, I don't have it to play for you guys.
Ah,
but
damn.
I was, I was in Nashville, right outside Nissan Stadium.
HIPAA violations, you know how it is.
You know. how it
Yeah.
is.
Hey Tommy,
Yep.
did you make the cut?
I made the cut in Nashville.
Did you shave it or what?
No, it's not. It's like maybe 4 inches long, but
Legit-
the mane is
Fellas, I
gone.
don't know if you know, but I have not I have not cut my hair since August maybe. And you know what? I might have to carry that torch now that Tommy's out.
You might have to, dude. It gets passed around. It went
Lots of
James.
love,
It went
all
James,
on this
Jeff,
side.
me,
Now it's my turn.
Elliot's up.
Ooh.
All right.
Pass that baton, brother.
All right. Here's a question for all of you.
All right.
Which game were you like? Out of all the 6 matches that we had this week, which one that you're shocked how it ended?
I'm gonna go to the scoreboard.
Let me double
and
check.
Let's take a look.
For me, it's Jack. I'm kind of shocked that he lost.
Okay. Yeah, I got mine too. Mine is mine is Kyle and Stephanie versus Shamans. They beat them by 40. Almost.
Holy! They put up the week high.
They put up the high score of the week.
I'm shocked that Tommy
Yeah.
that Uncle Tommy lost too. Like,
You know what's really interesting is how there's a lot less points going on right now. I think in the beginning, everyone was putting up at least 100. Multiple people were putting up 120, 130s. It's just kind of tapered off.
But what
people are
positions do you
getting
think
tired.
what positions do you think are struggling the most? Quarterback,
Running
back.
back. By
Running
far.
back. Running back for sure.
It is not a running back season at all.
What do you guys think about how this might affect next season? We're still going to have to run 2 running backs, but how do we work that in?
You mean how's the draft gonna go?
Yeah,
Is that
how's the
kinda what
draft
you're
gonna
asking?
I would love.
Go ahead, Elliot.
I'd love an RB and maybe like some other. Do they make like an RB tight end position?
Someone suggested that in the past, and I thought
That's a
about
flex.
that. Now,
That's a flex.
my concern about that is, say you get there is an RBTE
No,
position.
then you have to have a TE.
You could. What if
And
you
there's
got Kelsey?
There's not as many TEs as there are.
Ooh, I like that.
wide
I kinda like that,
receivers.
Elliot.
But then
I
you
mean,
got
I
to
just
take
fucking
out.
hate
Then you
running
take
backs.
out the
Dude, running backs
WRTE.
Running
Somebody
backs
that's
get
straight.
hurt. Running backs, there's not enough.
Oh,
I hate
yeah,
running
Jeffrey
backs.
might
they're
be
worse
right.
Than they're worse than quarterbacks.
Wait, hold on, guys. I think I need to go back to Austin's. He can't believe Jack lost.
Yeah, I'm shocked
I
that he
didn't.
lost.
I played him this week, and I didn't realize that he played 3 tight ends against me.
Oh wow!
Well,
and
of
look
course
at that.
3 tight ends.
And his 3 tight ends. Let's see. Gesicki got a goose, but 13 and 15.9. So he put up 24 points with his tight ends, and
Could you
You
imagine
played
if
4
Jack-
running backs.
three of my running backs didn't score that. Daryl
Yes.
Henderson, Cordero Patterson,
Is
Chicken Tenderson, and Chicken Patterson.
Chicken Tenderson.
including Josh Jacobs. They didn't put up as much points as his 3 tight ends. His 2
Ja-
tight ends.
This
Josh
is it,
Bagels.
guys. This is it. Everything's going to change now. It's not going to be a running back season anymore. It's going to be a tight end season. It's going to be tight right up the butt.
I don't think so, but that was a fluke of a matchup that I
I
don't
got
think
a
his
lot of
tight end
tight
should have
ends.
put up. Yeah, you got 3.
Someone
You got
said.
3. Tom Brady putting up 13 though. I was expected to win. I thought.
Speaking of great-looking tight ends, guys, Jeffrey and Elliot, who are your guys' prediction to win the league?
Prediction to win the league. You know what?
Bruce
I don't
looks
know.
great.
I think Team Gridiron's team is pretty damn good. Hopefully they set their lineup each week. But if you just take a look at their roster real quick, Tom, pull them up. I don't even think they're in the
Who are you looking at?
Team Gridiron. I don't even think they're
Kyle
in the
and
playoff
Steph.
hunt. But if you just take a look at
They're
their
just outside the playoff hunt.
roster, I'm telling you, like that's a good team.
Oh yeah, I think they're going playoffs.
Danny
It's gonna be a
Cook,
battle. I
Tyler
think they're
Bill.
gonna battle with Jack is who I'm thinking.
This guy, they got Allen and Andrews sitting on the bench.
Well, yeah,
Hey,
you're
wait.
right. That's a good. They got a lot. They got some depth.
Yeah,
Did I make the playoffs?
You're in. You're mate.
It's close. You should be.
Oh wait, I believe James' question was it who's gonna make the
Yeah,
championship?
who's gonna win it all? And so Jeffrey's going with Jeffrey. You're the first one to go that way. I like that call. Elliot, who's your prediction to win it all this year?
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at the projected playoff bracket right now. And I can tell you my picks. And obviously Bruce gets the bye. I think Tommy, I think you're going to take Austin in that first round. But then I think Bruce is going to take you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bruce.
And let's see, machines, TDs, I got the machines for sure. And then
I got the titties over machines.
Shamans or Goon Squad. That's going to be tough.
Oh, that's a good match.
The
battle of the uncles.
Yeah, right. That's a tough one. Let's say the Goon Squad takes it.
The Gooners.
So Goon
the
versus
Goon
Machines?
Squad.
My money is actually on.
Wait,
big
no,
old
Elliot
TV.
Elliot still hasn't come up with his winner. He's given us his final 4. His final 4 is Bruce, Tommy, Machines, and Goon Squad. Who
Yep.
wins it of the 4?
I'm thinking. No, I didn't say machines. I said TDs.
Oh, I thought
he said Shamans. He said Shamans Goon Squad. Bruce.
You said titties? Okay. Yeah, I would go titties
Yeah,
too.
I'm thinking Goon Squad might take the Shamans. Goon Squad's got a great record. And they're going to take the TDs. Honestly, I think Goon Squad's got the best shot. for the end of the season.
Wow, Goon Squad for Elliot.
The Gooners.
He's 7-3. I mean, Bruce is obviously 8-2, but I think his win streak is unsustainable,
I
Yeah,
like
Bruce is
especially in
kinda
those later
lucky.
weeks. Especially in those
Sorry,
later
Bruce.
weeks.
I gotta say, I think you guys cannot sleep on Little Tommy. Little Tommy's running backs are. I did a little hot whistle there. It's just like, wow. Tommy's got some good running backs, and that kind of stuff.
Chicken
carries.
Patterson?
Yep.
Chicken Patterson and Chicken Tenderson.
So definitely watch out for him. I also think Austin's got a sneaky good team too.
That's only if,
Austin is
if
sneaky,
Brown
yep,
and Kamara
yep.
can come back. If they are back this week, then they could. If they come back, then yeah, I definitely have a shot.
All right, I changed my pick.
Austin.
I think
Go.
I don't know who's going to win it, but I think the final is going to be Space Cowboy Corn Shuckers versus Goon Squad.
Ooh.
Okay, book it.
Book it.
Or as
All
my
right.
students say, bet.
All right, James,
Hey.
do I get one?
Yeah. You want to go
No,
for it?
you don't.
I think I think Goon Squad is gonna take it. I agree with Elliot there. As far as like final matchup, I do think it's gonna be Bruce now, because I think last week I didn't think it was Bruce. I thought somebody was gonna beat out Bruce and he was gonna fall farther back. Big Old Titties I think is falling farther back. He's got too many injuries. But I think Bruce and Goon Squad are gonna be the championship now. It sounds like such an obvious thing because they're first and second, but Bruce got McCaffrey back, and McCaffrey got Cam Newton back.
Oh
And
my
I'm thinking-
gosh, yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
thinking that's
yeah.
going to be a little bit of a game changer from last week when we knew McCaffrey was coming back. We didn't know how he was going to perform, but Cam Newton we didn't know about last week. Now we do, and that's kind of a good duo that has run some monster games before. So I do think Bruce has a better shot now.
Do we got to
Good
give
point.
Austin a chance?
All over the place.
Do we got to
We're
give
all over
Austin
the
a
place.
chance to pick his team?
Austin
Well-
can pick his team. He can be a homer.
Well, the thing is that I really thought Teddy could pull this off, but what you guys said, because his talent has taken a massive hit to the face, I don't think he has what it takes to take the win. So Jack is definitely going to win his match with him. Now, the battle between 21 and 36. Well, it really... I like how it's Space Colony, 21 Machinas, Corn Shuckers, 36 Space Cowboys.
I
That
do
is
love
I-
how we have the two weird number name teams.
You guys
and
are
they're totally
rivals.
different.
You're definitely
I-
rivals.
There's something
love-
there. There's some rivalry there. I love it.
I'm excited for the rematch. I am excited
I don't understand the
for the
references.
rematch.
Neither
Absolutely.
do we.
So I don't know how that's gonna go. If my talent is good for, even if they don't come this week, I'm gonna beat James' ass anyway. But if they come back the following week, which they probably will, I'll be fine as long as the rest of my team is healthy. I think I have a decent shot at beating little Tommy. But
All right.
I don't know. Either if me and Tommy do succeed, I don't know about Bruce.
I think you
Bruce,
guys can. Bruce has gotten a soft schedule.
that
You know
is
what's
true.
interesting this year, boys, is last year I don't think we had, James, Danny, and I we're out of it. I don't think last year there was many combinations where quite a bit of people still were in the hunt up until that last week.
Yeah, there were quite a few, and right now we're all three of us are out.
Check this out, boys. I got the
Yeah, I don't
final
think
standing projection.
But he was 8-2.
What do we got here? My
yeah.
name's Bruce again.
Woo! I'm 11.
My name's Bruce, back to first.
Ooh.
Goon Squad from 11th
No,
to second.
I'm in 12th.
Poor James.
From 5th to 12th.
Poor James.
Brutalized.
I am so sorry. He helped me so much. Look, I'm 6.
But the
Got
nice
it.
thing is, Austin, I just, you make your own decisions, though. It's not like I'm telling you who to pick up or who to go get. I'm like, I just sometimes will poke you, and you're like, oh, I got to make a play. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you tell me, I'm picking up Cooper Rush. I'm like, whoa. And then it works out.
Worked out. I got Cooper Rush. He's not as good as Cooper,
Rush.
but he's not as good as Cooper Coop.
No.
All right, I got a question for Elliot. Elliot, are you still on the line, sir?
I am here.
All right, what do you think about the 49ers starting Bofa next week?
I don't even know what that means for anyone.
You don't know about them starting Bofa? You might be able to pick them up.
Yeah,
Both of these nuts.
Ah!
got it!
I thought you guys were talking about Bank of America.
Yeah.
No, Austin kind of jumped the gun there, but well,
we'll let it
Wait.
slide.
we'll try again with another guest.
Yeah.
Couldn't help myself.
Wait,
Austin.
James, what about his what about Elton John and Imagine Dragons?
No, wait, no, Austin. What about Elton John and Led Zeppelin? Which one?
Oh, that's easy. Led Zeppelin.
Tommy. Led Zeppelin versus Van Halen.
Led Zeppelin.
Jeffrey. Led Zeppelin versus Ed Sheeran.
Oh, I'm going Led Zeppelin.
Elliot. Ed Sheeran versus Imagine Dragons.
Imagine Dragons, I guess.
Imagine dragging these nuts across your face. What?
Oh!
That was a setup. That was a long setup.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Got his ass.
Got his ass.
Lay his ass.
Laid him out.
Well, I think we're about out of material now, boys.
That's pretty good.
As a kind of a final question, I always ask the guys, how you guys feeling about the rules this year? How you guys feeling about the 2 quarterback situation and maybe 2 extra games? How you guys feel about all these?
I actually think the 2 quarterback situation is a good thing because it tests our patience. It keeps us on our toes. We cannot be sloppy and lazy and become a sloth and have moss growing on our damn backs.
Happened to me this week. Man speaks the truth.
I think I know there's the third IR slot people want. That is fine. And after that, I mean, I really don't think we change anything. I think we're pretty much good to go.
I think we're going to bring one thing. We're going to bring in the wild card where the top 6 teams will make the playoffs based on record. The wild card will be awarded to everybody else who's not in the playoffs and their highest score. Whoever has the highest score. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not the best record.
Basically, so highest score of the non-playoff
Not the
teams.
7th best record.
Yeah, highest total score. So not scored against you, but your score of every player you played that
Points
year.
for.
Points for. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. So points for, and they will win the wild card. That way, say you're in 12th place or in 11th place, and you're getting creamed every week because you're going against Danny and Bruce, but yet you're losing by 5 points. Guess what? You could still make the playoffs because you've been posting high scores of the week. And that's the other thing. Everybody will be in it in that regard. That you're the 11th plus 12th place team. You play your best team every week. You're going to be able to put up 170 points one week, like out of nowhere. Like here's Stephanie and Kyle who were struggling, and all of a sudden they put up highest score of the week. Boom. So I don't know. That's something we want to bring in. What do you guys think?
Neat. What about like a trophy for Ligma?
Ooh, Ligma. Tommy's working on one.
Ligma balls.
Tommy's working on a trophy for Ligma.
We're gonna Ligma balls, the Ligma balls trophy.
That's what we're gonna call it.
Place.
That's what we're gonna call it.
Can you combine
just the Ligma cup.
The Ligma cup.
The Ligma cup.
So last Friday we had Institute Day, and I brought in my cup, and I had at least 3 or 4 of my new friends be like, "Grider, what the hell is this cup about?" And I had to tell them I came in last place.
He loves that cup, though. Isn't that cup great?
It's a beautiful cup.
It's a love-hate. It's an honest love-hate relationship with the cup. It's you look at it. And
what does
you go,
it say?
Damn.
What does it say too?
The butt wipes cup.
Butt wipes.
I'm telling you, like, it is a great reminder. It is a great reminder, and I think about how I came in last place that year.
Yeah, but you weren't there.
Whoa! Look what we got here!
Christ. Easy.
What's up, motherfuckers? I'm back.
Oh,
I was just about to leave.
We're we're ending the show right now. What's up, Jack?
What's up? I can't believe you guys are still podcasting.
Yeah, we're done.
We're ending right now.
Elliot, tell Jack about the cup that we just invented.
The Ligma cup.
The Ligma cup?
Yeah, Ligma balls.
You guys,
feel
you
like
guys,
Tommy.
you guys ever shop at Aldi's?
Thank you.
Aldi's nuts.
Austin, how many points did CD get this week?
CD's
You
nuts.
Yo, guys, for lunch
Alright, we're
I had
done.
Wendy's. I had Wendy's for lunch. Wendy's nuts.
Oh. Jack.
Wendy's nuts on your forehead.
What are you, Chinese?
Imagine dragging these nuts.
Oh God! All right, good show, boys. We gotta wrap
We're
it up.
done. We're
J-
done.
J-
We're
Jack, we got you on the
Everybody-
podcast. Let's give you a quick shout. Do you want to get any sit, start, or cut of the week? Pick one and go.
No,
No, I'm
Jack
good,
doesn't
I'm good.
get it. He gets to cut.
All right, we cut it.
out and
We-
then sit on the couch and then start sleeping because the show's over.
Let's go. That's great.
One question to Jack though.
With
One
a
question,
slouch.
Jack.
Yeah.
Jack,
Yeah.
how do you feel about losing to little Tommy when you were so close to victory?
Oh, I'm so mad. It was Thursday, and I'm like, I want a guy to cheer for, so I put Gasecki in. Renfro was in before him. Feels bad. Would have won.
Yeah, man. How do you sleep at night?
It's hard stuff. Tough.
Renfro's solid. Renfro's definitely a solid player.
Renfro?
Yep.
Sounds like
He's sick.
Dracula's servant.
Hi, boys. I got to shower and go to bed.
All right, boys and girls, that was a great podcast. Smash that like button. Subscribe for more Throwing Ropes podcast. Shout out to our guests, Austin, and Jeffrey, and Elliot for joining us. We have half a take 5 today, so it's fun size.
2.5.
And we got Tommy and James on the corn as usual. Thanks for everybody
Rowan.
for joining us.
Whoop!
Whoop! Give us your best whoop,
I
whoop,
hate
whoop,
that
whoop.
noise so much.
All right, fam. All right, guys.
Mic drop.
On
We
to,
out.
On to
Later.
UPBL Week 11. We'll see you guys next week. Go.
Getting
Good
my
luck.
third win. Later.
Playoffs on the horizon.
Later, taters!
Play your best. Good luck.
Boom, 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 boom.
I'm playing music.
And this is how the show goes to next week.
Yeah.
Wonderful podcast. Wonderful. I love that one so much.
That was a good one. That was actually, guys, that was the best one in a while, I think. That was pretty good.
We were funny. I'm glad Jeff's here, and I'm
Wait,
glad
can I tell you guys why?
Yeah.
Because Austin, hey man, you should podcast with us on Tuesday. And then when James called, we had that, and Ronan was, I'm gonna ask him, and I'll ask him again. And I was so fucking excited. He's like, what?